Most of our maps focus on the dry land where we live, but look at this view of Earth. The Pacific Ocean alone is larger than all of our continents combined. This chart breaks down our current progress in mapping the seafloor. As you can see, humans have explored less than 30% of it in high resolution. The rest remains a complete mystery. It is a strange reality that our satellites have mapped the dry, dusty surface of Mars more easily than the deepest trenches of our own planet. Scientists estimate that millions of marine species may still be undiscovered. That vast, unmapped darkness provides an ideal physical environment to conceal incredibly massive forms of life. For centuries, sailors reported seeing enormous, tentacled beasts dragging ships into the depths. The scientific community dismissed these stories as pure maritime folklore, born from fog and fear. That changed in the early 2000s. Researchers finally captured photographs of a live giant squid in its natural habitat, moving the animal from the realm of sailors' myths into the formal catalog of marine biology. The ocean already sustains massive creatures right now. The blue whale, measuring over 30 meters long, operates perfectly within the biological limits of the marine environment. So to figure out if something larger is hiding down there, we need to strip away mythology and run a strict biological audit. If giants like the colossal squid and the blue whale already exist, we must determine the exact biological requirements necessary to keep a massive undiscovered predator alive. The first requirement on our audit is space. Any massive creature needs millions of cubic miles of habitat to successfully avoid human detection. Below 1,000 meters, sunlight completely disappears. Because radio waves cannot travel underwater, our communication relies entirely on sound, dropping visibility to just a few meters. This diagram illustrates vertical migration. Every day, entire deep-sea ecosystems travel thousands of feet up and down the water column. Compare this to our technology. Sonar only penetrates a tiny fraction of this column, leaving huge stretches completely unmonitored. Because of these physical realities, the deep ocean easily passes the space test. An undiscovered giant has a nearly infinite physical hiding place. The second requirement is energy. This acts as a hard biological limit on exactly how large an animal can grow. The deep ocean is an incredibly food-scarce environment. Maintaining a massive physical body requires an enormous continuous supply of calories, which is why many deep-sea animals have to grow very slowly to conserve energy. This chart contrasts the available deep-sea food supply with the dietary needs of two hypothetical animals. The first column shows that a whale-sized predator could feasibly sustain itself on the available prey. The second column shows a city-sized leviathan drastically exceeding the ocean's food supply. The math is clear. While a hidden creature could theoretically be huge, an animal the size of a city is a biological impossibility. It would simply starve to death. The final rule of our audit is population. Biological life does not live forever. To survive across generations, any hidden creature requires a breeding population. A large population inevitably leaves physical evidence. We would expect to find enormous feeding marks on marine life or massive carcasses on our shores. Breeding populations also communicate and leave acoustic signatures. When hydrophones picked up an incredibly powerful sound, dubbed the Bloop in 1997, many people speculated they had finally recorded a massive unknown monster. Data analysis matched the frequency of the bloop to the unique acoustic signature of massive Antarctic ice shelves cracking and breaking apart in the water. Today, we don't need to rely on sound or carcasses. Living populations constantly shed microscopic biological material into the water, and researchers can track them using environmental DNA sampling. The physics of the deep sea allow a creature to hide in the dark, but the necessity of a breeding population guarantees they will eventually leave a traceable footprint behind. This brings us to the final verdict of the biological audit. Based on the hard limits of caloric energy and population dynamics, science completely rules out the existence of mythical city-sized sea monsters. However, the audit also confirms something incredible: unknown whale-sized predators, massive deep-sea sharks, and entirely new relatives of the giant squid are entirely biologically possible and could easily be swimming in the deep right now. Scientists are now deploying autonomous AI drones and advanced manned submersibles that can operate at depths once considered unreachable, expanding our search into the most remote corners of the abyss. By collecting seawater and isolating the tiny genetic fragments left behind, researchers can now detect the presence of massive, undiscovered species without ever laying eyes on them visually. The next great discovery likely won't be a mythical monster, but a real biological marvel that reveals a new branch of marine evolution, reminding us that the vast majority of our planet's living space remains an untapped record of life.